During the Blast Premier Finals, we saw Vitality and Liquid face off, with the first map of the series being Liquid's pick in Nuke. And towards the latter stages of this game, ZywOo had a mega round on the terrorist side, where he picked up 4 frags and closed out the round with a brilliant 1 versus 2 clutch on just a single point of health. And just look as these sexy frags are rolling in the background. Now at this point, the majority of viewers close the Twitch clip, grab their framed picture of ZywOo, and head off to the toilet for some alone time. But here, in this first episode of a new series we're calling Behind the Play, we're going to explore how this highlight came to be and why there's much more going on than first meets the eye. So on board with ZywOo, he's going to kick this one off by throwing this smoke for outer, and this is going to land with 2 other smokes coming out from Vitality and form a nice wall of smokes from Mini over towards the edge of Garage just here and allow them to cross more safely in towards Secret. And I like to call this variation of smokes the Mouse Sports smokes because I don't go outside enough and I know which teams use which smokes. So on board with Shox, what we're going to see here is that Shox starts facing outer. He gets a bit overeager and starts facing before those smokes have bloomed, and he gives up the man advantage over towards that Liquid squad. So back with ZywOo, Vitality, they're going to commit to their call to go down Secret with numbers and leave RPK lurking here towards the Mini position. So as ZywOo and Apex work their way down, notice how well they're really buddying up here using that buddy system, holding each other's side to clear out all of this secret area. Now on board with Elige, he's playing this really big kind of off angle here next to whatever this thing is, I'm not really sure, but in this spots from Elige, he's basically guaranteed to get the first kill and then get traded out by that terrorist side. But on board with ZywOo, as we watch them play out, he gets this really great flick and just domes Elige, even though he goes down to 1 HP in the process. So to understand what Vitality do next, you need to think about the setup from Liquid's perspective. So they had Elige pushed up all the way into Secret down here on that off angle. He was getting some nice information and he could say to his teammates, there's nobody coming down Secret, let's commit to having loads of players on the upper bomb site. And Vitality know that this dynamic is at play, and of course they've just shown the bomb as well to that CT side. They've got a bit of a window where if they commit quickly, they can try and beat out those CT rotates, and that is precisely what happens on this one from Vitality. So ZywOo, he comes towards this double doors side. And in this position, he's making a really great play actually by not swinging out on his 1 HP. And this is because there are no teammates around ZywOo. So instead, he lets Apex swing out first. And even though Apex goes down here, now ZywOo can swing out with Nivera for those trades. So dropping his nades is ZywOo, and his teammates, they're both about to go down here. But even though they've gone down, they've got some decent information for the Frenchman. So he does know that Fallen, he's towards Ram. He was scoping up on that B bomb site. And he knows that Grim is above him. And he can also hear Grim running. And in this 1 versus 2 situation, ZywOo, he needs to isolate fight and take a bit of a risk, especially on his 1 HP, to try and bring this back to at least an even scenario. And that's what he does. He says, I want to isolate this fight with Grim. He plays that same off angle. There's a bit of revenge here on that angle that Elige was using. So ZywOo, he's obviously just shown himself. He's a bit nervous that perhaps Fallen might already have crossed onto the site. So he decides, I'm just going to get aggressive, use my flash and reposition. And now he can hear Fallen to his right-hand side. So at this point, even though it's a one-on-one, it's still pretty CT-sided here, considering that ZywOo's on 1 HP. He decides, I'm going to take a risk, play this off angle, and he does loads of damage to Fallen, but can't quite find the kill. So on the tap, ZywOo knows it's probably a fake. So what he's going to do is pre-fire the angle he thinks that Fallen is playing on the left side of this silo thing. Just there, he doesn't get the frag, but he spots that Fallen is off it. And on this second tap, he decides, I'm going to swing out, and he gets that final frag onto Fallen to close out the round. Now, of course, this was a fantastic round from ZywOo, but there was a little bit more to it than just clicking heads, and after the blunder from Shox earlier on, Vitality worked well together to make the round close, and clearly the 1v2 to finish it off was all ZywOo. Let me know what you think of videos like these in the comments below, and I'll catch you all next time around.